fresh coat of paint can go a long way.
4 litre Easy Coat interior paint, $91.58. Sally's 1 litre professional sugar soap, $5.61.
Where you find a competitor's lower price and the same stock item will beat it by 15%.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Kia ora team, George here from Touch NZ. Now we all enjoy a bit of touch, but without a proper warm-up, the chances of being injured are massively increased. So to keep you on the field and out of the emergency room, Touch NZ have made a short and easy warm-up series for all levels, proven to lower the chance of injury by close to 50%. So head on over to our site and check them out. Play safe, play smart.
E te tera I te katoa. Nau mai, hoki ora mai, ki tēnei whakapāhotanga. Hoki mai anō o koutou wairua pai, kia rere ai, kia mātou e tākoro nei, e mātakitaki nei, I te Rotorua kahumata momoi. This is the open mix section, Pool A, between Nelson and North Harbour. This is game 6 of our broadcast. About to get underway and present to you myself, Harley Wall, and of course joined again in commentary by Maya Williams. We've had some absolute hummers, some awesome games. Of course, we just witnessed a very high quality game between Auckland and Waikato in the open men's. Switching over now to the open mix, we have North Harbour. I'm going to call them the underdogs. We've got last year's reigning champions, Nelson. Of course, a lot of knowledge next to me. Maya, what are your thoughts on this game, and in particular the mixed grade?
My thoughts are anything you've said about a team has actually been the opposite. So the fact that you've called North Harbour the underdog suggests they're going to win this quite easily. But in all seriousness, again, I said it earlier in the 21 mixed game, when you think of Nelson, you think mixed in particular. So I have no doubt, like I said, unfortunately, playing against the open mixed team. Ironically, I was actually here the last time we played them. We played them in the pool play game. I think the score was like 17-16, so obviously no one was allowed to defend. And then the very next morning we played them in the semi-final and they just run us off the park. So that's what I'm used to seeing from the Nelson team. North Harbour team, never seen them. But when you've got strong clubs up in that area, particularly mixed clubs, then you've got to think that they're going to be a really strong team and this will be a good game. But unlike you, I'm not going to pick anyone, just sit neutral. I think you're 0 for 5.
Might be. No, yeah, I think I am. But hey, doesn't matter. That's not. Don't ever follow my advice when it comes to TAB and the picks. Having a look, of course, first of all, the Nelson team list. Ki tēnei tātou, a couple of big names, players that have played at the highest level, in particular the Anderson brothers, 7, 8 and 9 are some names that may be familiar to our touch community. Having a look at the other side. Some new players that are coming through the system. A couple to keep an eye on, in particular number 11, Riley Butt. And also Brianna Fairley, number 3. As we can hear in the background, the 2-minute music is ringing. We've got some of our top referees on this game. Special shout out to Hayden Daru, Matt Weaver and Michaela Ruaiti.
Yep, looking for a game. I imagine it with two very different styles. I'm going to just thinking, and again, I don't know this for sure, but Harbour probably play a lot more of the middles and the under game, whereas I'm expecting more sweeps, backdoors from the Nelson team. Just used to seeing that with their pace and everything. North Harbour going to start us up, though. The 6th and final live stream game here for day 1 at the 2024 Bunnings Warehouse National Championships. Rotorua have really put on a great day weather-wise for us. It's been fantastic, sunny all day, but not too hot. Exactly how we like it. Last few seconds, rolling down. What a game to come off, though. The old adrenaline levels, especially the finish in that previous one, 7-6. No doubt, though, we'll have another close contest here, Harley.
That's right. As Tamanui Te Paenga Kawana Rogers gets us underway. North Harbour moving from the right to the left of your screen. and looking to set up their play. A little bit of a sweep heading towards the right, but they shift back to the left, find some space. But of course that space is cut down there by Ben Anderson.
The Anderson brothers, what a trio, huh? You just call them every time.
And of course Anderson's in the sub box as well.
Good first set of D there from Nelson, making sure the ball gets all the way back to the mark. Haven't seen that for a while. Smart play though, creating some time for him to get back on side. Really strong area this for Nelson, what I'm expecting anyway. Yeah, probably wouldn't advise that touching technique. You're going to put your team down 6-on-5. They just got too much pace, this Nelson team, and that's why you need to stay in front. Extra pass, great work, getting right in behind North Harbour. Defence definitely wasn't 7, that middle defender for North Harbour. Got away with it though.
Certainly did. North Harbour now looking to ruck towards their sub box. Just a little bobble, couldn't quite grasp the ball properly. And a little turnover, it seems.
We're less than 2 minutes into the game, and I don't want to go the early crow, but ominous signs with regards to the speed at which this Nelson team is going to ruck and attack. And I'll tell you what, the Nelson defence needs to be on its game. We see one of those sweep plays we talked about, and again, just speed. Gets on the outside. Great touchdown there for Nelson, the number 1, Max Pedersen.
We can see here on the replay, just doing the basics well, really well timing on that peel, finding the space on the outside of the right middle, dotting down for the first try of the game. Nelson 1, Harbour about to get us back underway for our second tap-off. Underway again with a little starter move. Let's see what fruits come from it. Again, the player we spoke about, Riley Butt, just finding pace and a bit of space in between the defenders. And it looks like North Harbour might have scored their first try.
Riley Butt, almost a solo effort here. I was wondering what was going on. There's a little merry-go-round play on the starter. They knew what they were doing. Butt here, using his speed, and I have no idea how hard that pass would have been, but 100 miles an hour one-way, passing across his right-hand shoulder, absolutely puts it on a dime. Great hit back. Ominous signs, you reckon, Maya? Well, there you go, North Harbour, 1-1.
Nelson still looking calm in the driving seat as they move the ball back towards their try line. Not rushing, trying to look after the ball at the same time.
Much better defence there for Harbour. Nelson, though. Stringer. Great set play for Stringer. Looking back out to Stringer, loses his man. Oh, probably needed to throw that pass. Yeah, nothing on there. Touch and pass. Nelson, much better defence, North Harbour. Really, 2 really good sets back to back there.
And it's exciting to see different options. First time they went with the peel, this time looking for the pick. North Harbour, though, just a little bit casual, just trying to make sure they're looking after the ball, but they want to try and get that with intensity the same too when players are coming running onto the field. But equally great defence from Nelson to keep them on their side of halfway up to the third touch there. And it looks like a touch and pass is going to be called here by the referees.
I'll tell you what, looking at the bottom of this team sheet, I'm thinking there's probably no one home at the Winiana family, as we have the assistant manager, Claire Winiana, coach, Michael Winiana, manager, Michael Lydia Winiana, and assistant coach, Moana Winiana. So, if anyone's going around to visit the Winianas back in the North Shore, they will not be home. They're here in Rotorua. Nelson, though, ball couldn't quite go to hand.
Probably say the same thing about the Anderson household.
Yeah.
Got 3 playing and then coach and manager as well. That's touch for North Harbour. Looking to try and set up a stroke play. Here's Riley Butt again. Kind of fizzling out to nothing, unfortunately. Couldn't quite maximise on the space given.
One all started with a hiss and a roar, but since then, just in a bit of a grind.
And a penalty comes. Justin in the ruck, a little bit too over-eager and probably got his feet in the wrong position there as well.
Here we see, oh, look at the speed onto the ball right there by
Oh, and the back flick, but just
Henry Anderson.
doesn't quite go to hand for Morgan McGee. I don't know if he needed to throw that, to be fair. He might have been okay on his own. I don't think he was the half either. Nevertheless,
Yep, got away with one there, North Harbour. Just trying to get into their rhythm, just on the back foot at the moment. Good ruck here though, from the 15. Santana, Punga Kennedy. See him there, pass out to his left, trying to draw and pass. It's a little bit of a touch and pass back there from Punga Kennedy. Nelson out with a set.
some earlier results from today. North Harbour going down twice, once to Bay Plenty into Wellington. Nelson picking up 2 wins, but just by 1 try against Wellington and Bay of Plenty. So sitting at the top of their section at the moment, but equally they don't want to drop another game. And of course, in a mixed grade as big as this year's one, every result will matter.
First intercept, 0 touch. Now getting a lot more familiar with the new rules that have come in. Obviously been in now for a couple of seasons. That being the 0 touch. Great innovation. Look, we have to say it's up the wires tonight, isn't it, there, Harvey?
Very, very true. 8 o'clock kickoff. I'm sure everybody will get their recovery done once they're done here at Touch Nationals and be straight in front of the TV afterwards.
Good call there from the ref. Sometimes can go for a 6 again. Right call though, off the shoulder.
Game 3 for both of these teams today. We wonder whether or not the wear and tear of the grind that is Nationals will play a factor. Of course you wouldn't want to on day one, but as we saw in some earlier games today, especially when injuries take their toll, can put a lot of pressure on the players on the field, as we see North Harbour able to stymie that last one.
We talked earlier about the split in terms of this being the Masters 2 weeks ago, opens now. I've got a little bit of trivia here for you, Harley. If you know it, don't try and pretend that you're just a super genius and tell me if you know it. But what is the only province in New Zealand that has won all 3 open grades at one Nationals?
Knowing that Bay of Plenty's had a lot of success, they would be the first one that would come to mind. But if it was all at the same time, yeah, you probably would be hard-pressed to go past Auckland, but I'm not sure itself on what the answer is.
Nelson, hot on attack.
And the play-on calls given by the referee.
I love it last year. I think there was one try there. Was it Anderson to Anderson? And Anderson scores. Great touchdown.
They probably do that on purpose, just to make it harder for the commentators. A little 33 step back play.
Morgan McGee there, working with Ben Anderson. Now Henry Anderson with the ball. Talk about knowing a player like yourself. These Anderson boys. McGee. Good defence, North Harbour. Didn't take any of the dummies. Stayed really connected. We've seen that pocket defender with his comms. 1-1. I wouldn't have thought that after the first couple of minutes. Oh, pass was definitely on. Unfortunately, wasn't quite accurate enough. Would have been an easy gap. It looked like there was about a 15-metre gap there, Harley. But good work, North Harbour.
One thing I've noticed, I'm not sure if it's a reflection of the new rules or not, but certainly a lot more players having to dive, especially in the middle, towards players. We tend to have a lot of players ending up on the ground. Potentially also causing a little interference in the ruck, but that doesn't matter when you've got a clean intercept like this.
Henry Anderson gets on the scoreboard.
Won't get a try too much easier than this if we have a look at the Bunnings Warehouse replay. Too much pace. Harbour unfortunately caught napping there, unable to transition quickly back into the defence side of things. and Nelson 2-1 lead.
One of the features of the mixed game that I often bring up is how more often than not the far side winger will play the whole half, if not the whole game, the far side female winger. Well, that got taken to a new level, didn't it, in the previous Nelson game where all 3 girls were the only girls playing. Great hands. Did she get the ball down?
I think she might have.
She did.
Yeah.
I can't see a touch being claimed. What a ball to catch. Well, hopefully we'll get to see it in the replay. But we see a bullet of a pass out in front. Had to gather it. Was able to get it down before the defending elite got across. 2-2. Great catch.
Great catch, great hands, and possibly some great honesty from Nelson. It looked like the touch had come in time, whether or not the player was onside or not.
Yeah, I think it was Simon Anderson. Tell you what,
Bit of
he
a
is
drop
quick.
there. But it looks like the referees are being kind today to give the ball back.
Someone else's birthday other than yours, Harvey. Setting things up. And Anderson. Oh, got through easy, but great chase down there from North Harbour. North Harbour really picked things up, actually, defensively in particular. Probably a bit more work needed on this in the orange zone, this transition phase of the game. So what's for birthday dinner tonight, Harvey?
Have to go with steak and eggs. Something simple.
That sounds like a cooked meal.
At the pub. Nothing wrong with it. Yeah, right in front of the TV with the Warriors on. It's already set.
Paparakota.
Paparakota. We'll see where the night goes after that. Whether I'm dancing around like the players on the field are.
Oh, how good was the Waikato Open women's team pre-match? Just that whole vibe that was going on within that team. It seems like what a team to be part of. And obviously led by the incredible coaches in that team.
Much better effort defensively in the orange zone here from North Harbour to slow Nelson down. Getting back on side and then moving forward to make the next touch. As we see this very effective pod with Morgan McGee and Anderson again. Probably spoke too soon.
2.5 to go. 2-2.
Game's a lot closer than I certainly anticipated. And full credit to both teams. Perhaps again, like in previous matches, the team that can win that middle of the field, the orange zone, will be the team that can come out on top in this game.
I literally think at the exact same spot I've seen that forward pass done twice.
Yeah.
Short 7 metres there, probably. McGee got away. Went back 7 in his head, but didn't have to, actually. Strong ruck now. Anderson towards the sub-box. McGee, third one. Just in the ruck area there. Harbour letting Nelson off.
And again, as we mentioned earlier on in the broadcast, ruck infringements brought forward 10 metres, and we can see that being the case there.
Glass of orange juice to wash down the steak and eggs, as it has.
Absolutely. A strong glass.
Nelson, just a bit of the speed, dropped out of the game. Anderson, though, off his right. I'm not even sure he knew he was going to pass there. That was a gorgeous pass just across the face of the defending winger for North Harbour. We see not much on. Gets it, powers it out to the wing. Gorgeous pass. Excellent catch. Touchdown there for the number 12 from Nelson. Courtney Lott. 3-2 now into the last minute.
Tahi miniti e toi ana ki te pai wehe. North Harbour now. Again, another little starter move. Looking to see if they can make the most of this. They did score off it. Their first try.
That was a great try. One of the tries of the day so far from Butt, I think it was.
Strong defence there by Morgan McGee.
Touch and pass, hand in the ruck there. Probably get 2 or 3 touches. Nelson in no hurry. Happy to take a 1 touchdown lead into this first half. I'm sure we're about to hear the hooter. There it is. Anderson Throwing a speculator. But there we have it, Harley. At the end of the first half, Nelson take a 1-touchdown lead, 3-2, over North Harbour. Join us back for the second half of the last of our live stream games on day one.
At Bunnings, a little can go a long way with our lowest prices. Dulux paint $116.94, Monarch roller kit $25.77. Will you find a competitor's lower price on the same stock item? We'll beat it by 15%. Bunnings Warehouse. Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Kia ora touch whānau, welcome to Quick Hit, your short, sharp and touch relevant warm-up, with the aim of warming up and moving those important body parts before kicking into activity. The Quick Hit warm-up requires minimal space, minimal time, and allows for innovation.
Homegrown Heroes is back, and this year I've got a new recruit.
Kia ora touch whānau, it's time to nominate the unsung volunteers who put the mahi in for the sport we love.
Enter them now for the chance to win $5,000 for their touch community.
No mai hoki mai, ai Mauri hoki kia koutou katoa. We're back here. It is the Open Mixed Grade Pool A. Match between Nelson and North Harbour. It's been a tight match so far. 3 tries to 2, Nelson taking the lead. We're going to have a look at some of the highlights from the first half. Excellent timing here on the peel. And a great dot down there by Henry Anderson. Equally very impressive break in the defence that Riley Butt was able to find and meet up with Christian Mark here for North Harbour's first try against the run of play. Another intercept try to stretch Nelson's lead, and then a couple more tries each way. This first one just gets on the outside of the defending player, dots down for Harbour's second try. And very similar to the setup on the first one. Instead of diving under, pushing the ball to the left wing. Some great work there from Ben Anderson. Maya, you've had some insight, a little bit of an idea of the corridor that was shared at halftime. Anything you can give us in terms of...
Just really positive comps in the Harbour huddle there. They're really happy with the effort. They're just comparing it to the game previously. It sounded like it was a bit of a flat one, but this one, they've just really lifted things. So all of the 3 coaches were happy with where they're at and just said more of the same. Don't drop off the intensity. Keep it at that level. And they'll definitely need to, because I doubt Nelson would have thought they'd be only up by 1, the way they started. You see them here straight into their work. Backdoor play. Thought he's going to come back. Draw and pass. Winger didn't get there. Just the way to start they did in the first half. First set, first touchdown for the half by Nelson. Wraparound play. I actually thought he was going to step off his right. He went outside, draw and pass. And lovely manipulation there by the Nelson winger to stay inside her counterpart.
Had the defence confused just with some subtle slight changes in body position. And as you mentioned, pushed the ball on. Great timing and a great try to get us underway. Nelson, just like they did in the first half.
Yep, it's their speed. Nelson's speed just to be able to get on the outside. Probably got off with a step or two to be required to come back, did Nelson. Harbour though, straight back into it. Lovely pass. Equal to it was the defence from the Nelson winger. Good start by Nelson. The only way that you can stop the speed of this Nelson team is what Harbour did for the majority of the latter part of that first half, and they were just super connected, super tight, so that they couldn't get around the outside of them.
Let's see if they can meet those expectations again. 5th touch now, but didn't quite get the roll ball correct. A little bobble on the roll ball.
I feel like that's probably one of the first one of those we've seen this game, Harley.
Yeah, there hasn't been too much in terms of errors in that field of the play, unlike what we saw in the game prior. They're attacking pot on this time for Harbour. What opportunities can they muster together? Unfortunately, not that one on this occasion. Caught at half. Nelson now, moving the ball forward.
Oh, really hope there's not too much going on there.
Looks a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, whenever you see a player go down with really no one else around them, you straight away think knee. Hope that's not the case.
We saw Nelson players in the previous game get injured and unfortunately leave the game. And we hope that's not the same case for Max Patterson, and he may be able to just continue on. Unfortunately as well, Nelson have lost position. Just couldn't quite get body over the ball as he fell to the ground.
Yeah, double by big losses, Max Patterson. We often talk about the Anderson boys, but Patterson, the glue in this team. Haven't really done much so far. 2 touches to go, North Harbour. Yeah, really didn't throw too much at Nelson then. They probably only made about 15 metres, 20 metres with those 4 touches, and then unfortunately on the 5th, hitting the high defender, so not really putting Nelson under pressure. And we see now Nelson rocking out of their defensive end beautifully, extra pass.
But great pressure applied here from North Harbour to return the serve and force a turnover, just a forced pass by Nelson on that occasion.
Yeah, the Nelson player just almost had to run back towards his defensive line, which put a lot of his players in front of him. He knew he needed to get that extra pass away. He's going to lose some ground, but risk wasn't really worth the reward. Harbour, though, now going down that left-hand side, just taking a set up as they work their way back to the middle. We see a backdoor from the Harbour player into a follow. Oh, I don't reckon he wanted to go the whole way, so he didn't catch that.
We see a recount position given back to North Harbour this time. We've seen strong defensive showing here from Nelson, and they've met the task again, just reaching out to grab number 9 there, Tamanui, before he was able to dot the ball down.
Oh, here it is this time, though. You can see outside the cameras there is no one in sight, just the 3 referees. They're not allowed to touch him. Just slowly jogging to the corner. He won't be in any hurry to put this ball down. But thankfully, unlike the Sevens, they don't take up all the time. They get the ball down. Nelson, good work. We just see a simple intercept. We nearly had 3 touches previously. We see here Morgan McGee, pluck it out of the air, go the full end of the field. This is our last game, Harley, the 6th of our live stream games for day 1. We've got a massive day tomorrow. We've got another 6. 3 in the open mix, 2 in the open mix, 1 in the open men's, 2 in the open women's, and another one in the 20 mix. So a big thank you to everyone who joined us today. But come back tomorrow where the action gets even more heated.
That's right, we'll see North Harbour and Counties Manukau in the women's grade. That one's going to be massive. Of course, you might have heard earlier in the broadcast, North Harbour, last year's champions, are dropping 2 games today, lost to both Manawatu and to Waikato. Counties Manukau rebuilding somewhat, but that'll be one key game I think would be worth tuning in for as we see another intercept.
Anderson, I think it is.
Yeah, Ben Anderson this time.
Great chase there from the 11 from North Harbour. Just couldn't quite match him. Riley Butt been a workhorse all first half. Anderson, however, gets across. The next one for Nelson we just see here. Late cut. Look for a tip on. Bit of a fortuitous play there. Ball bouncing off Anderson to Anderson. And then just having the gas to get all the way down into that right-hand corner. Nelson now really taking the air out of the North Harbour tyres. Not giving up here, Harley, but 4-2. 2 back-to-back. Oh, do we have another one the exact same way?
How often do you get 3 intercepts in a row in a game?
Yeah, the interesting thing about tomorrow, just with the way the open mixed draw is, we're already into playoffs for the open mixed grade.
Yeah.
Between the different pools, so it'll be interesting.
Correct, and by current standings, of course, if you do want to follow along, if you're at home or anywhere in the world, touchnz.co.nz, find all the draws and results. Some of tomorrow's games have already been loaded, so the third game in the open mix we'll see is going to be Counties Manukau and Manawatu. But again, another little magic trick pulled out of the hat by Nelson here this time.
I swear that was a touch, but the North Harbour player didn't call it, so obviously it wasn't. It was just mesmerised there by Anderson. Harvey, you talked about this homegrown heroes thing earlier. Do you want to give our whānau just a little bit more details around what that is and how they can be involved?
If you haven't heard about the homegrown heroes, of course, this is our opportunity to nominate your touch community hero, those who go above and beyond the call of duty to enable our players, our sports and our people to thrive. We've got 5 deserving heroes who will be nominated and awarded $5,000 to invest in their touch community. So make sure you either hit that QR code link or head to the Touch NZ website for more.
There we see Harbour though. Hit back. Great work there. 7-3. Great to see the Harbour team. See them here just setting up a good platform. I think that was a 32 pick and great lane run by the number 9 from North Harbour, which beat the shutting winger. Nelson, winger defender. Nelson, though, won't be too concerned. See Anderson go back door, looking for just simple draw and pass. Great touch there from the number 3. Brianna Fernley. Nelson, though, 2 left. Anderson setting things up. Stringer to Anderson. Anderson back off the right. Good defence there from the North Harbour link. Earned her team a touch and pass penalty.
Referee just bringing it back. Not that later grass, but this one, please.
I'm sure you've never done that, Harvey.
Ever in my life.
I think I did, but just when I wanted a rest. Just when the sideline referee didn't think they could come on, they were just about to make me do a 10, 5-5. I thought, oh, if I bring it back, he might think I can make it back out there. I don't think Henry Anderson's been off the second half. Every time I look up, whether it be on defence or attack, he's on. Stringer gets the Nelson set underway. Really, really strong game from Demi Sultan. Name I called quite a lot last year's Nationals, Demi Sultan. Real athlete, strong female player in the mixed grade. Just pulling out, good work there from Nelson. Yeah, I almost thought that could have been a loss there, that one.
Yeah, of course, the touch was called first by the referee as the player was outstretched trying to score, so I think we're 4th touch.
We had the privilege of having the USA president and Open Men's coach on earlier. Obviously, we've got 2 USA teams over here in their preparation for the World Cup, both the Open Men's and the Open Mix. But we also got the Queensland Mauri team, Harvey, over. Which grade is that team playing in?
Playing in the Open Mixed, an opportunity for some of them to, one, come home, reconnect with whānau and of course their Māoritanga as well. They spend a lot of time on the marae while they're back in New Zealand. Some of the opportunities that they'll get when they're not back in Queensland. And I think they picked up a couple of wins today. They'll be happy with that. We'll see how they feature tomorrow. But you'll have some insight for us about the USA and their campaign.
Yep, I sure do. Before we get on to them, just the Queensland Māori, I've seen them at every Nationals this 2023-24 calendar. Is this the first year where that has happened? Or, I mean, in the past when you're operations manager, were they also involved in previous Nationals?
Just last year, and I think this year as well. Aside from, I think, way back, they've seen a couple of teams in the 16s and 18s. They're looking to...
McGee goes in for Nelson. I think that's his second of the half, maybe even third of the game.
Could be, yeah.
I'm sure his teammates will be asking him to pass it soon.
Interesting little plant there. Maybe the referee's just missed that. He put it on the outside of his foot. Something to review again later. But yes, just back quickly onto Queensland Mauri, putting a lot of effort into bringing their people home. It's a double win for them. They get to play touch. They also get to reconnect with home at the same time. We've got lots of Mauri, but in particular, lots of people, lots of New Zealanders, of course, that are living over in Australia. A little bit muki, a little bit lonely, some would say, for home. So why not use touch as the vehicle to reconnect?
I talked about Anderson always being on. Well, Stringer, he's definitely been on for the last 4 sets. Number 10 for Nelson. Oh, lovely dive from North Harbour. Sometimes I wonder how referees can make a call when something happens so quickly. Right on the spot, though, was our man, referee up there. Goosey. 2 minutes left. 2 sets each, likely, for both of these teams. Again, there we see her. Demi, workhorse.
Anderson and Taika's back on. Just moving the ball around. Calm as, no rush. And it looks like she might have missed the touch, yes. Play on call is given. Bunnings Warehouse replay. Let's have another look at this one. Pushing the ball on. Just manages to evade.
There's been a few of those tries where you swear the person's almost holding them, let alone touching them. But no touches called. Go down for the touchdown. 9-3, 1 minute to go. Be interesting. What do you think, Harley, is the effect of these games being reduced to 30 minutes? Are you expecting get to see a lot more quality as physically the athletes have got more in the tank come day 3?
Today I think we've seen more physicality in particular. Again, we see another intercept. A casual stroll along the beach here.
Ben Anderson, I think it is. He's sick of McGee scoring. He's got one for himself.
But going back to that point, I think it does create bigger moments in the game, especially when instead of being 40, it's 30. So every possession feels like it matters, and accuracy, therefore, is also very crucial for both teams.
Yeah, good point. Never thought about that, obviously. The impact of every possession. It's 10 minutes. You don't have to catch up if you get behind. We see the hooter for the last of our live stream games.
Koenei te whakatepinga o tēnei kemu, o tēnei rā hoki, koutou katoa e matakitaki maina mo te roinga o te rā. Mihi atu nei, hoki ora mai anō koutou āpōpō. Thank you for joining us for our broadcast. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.